step of be and go and do is not even necessary. You automatically are. You are already a bright light. When you scrape the mud away, the light is automatically there. And the difference between self-help EFT, because it's a self-help tool, like you just said, and a practitioner-led tool, in case this helps listeners, a guide is that self-help EFT is not to be used on big T trauma. You need a practitioner for that because there are techniques, there are sets of techniques that keep you safe, allow you to work on extremely traumatic, distressing things with a degree of distancing that's built into the technique that enables you. It's actually a set of techniques called the gentle techniques. And if anybody's interested in learning how to do all this stuff, I have a training coming up in California just thought to say that. Yeah, in July in San Diego. But there's information on that on my website. But you use a practitioner when you're working with big T trauma, or if you, as you pointed out, you need that help, that guidance in getting to deeper issues. But the rest of the time, go for it with self-tapping. You can make so much progress on your stuff, and then just use a practitioner when you get stuck, or use a practitioner when you're just getting started and you want to kind of really get a sense of how to use this, because it's very counterintuitive in some ways. And then I tell people that I've got like 4 thoughts going at once. I want to make sure that I say it in. I
know how that is. And I'm going to jump in, and then if you cut me off. Using a practitioner to help you get started is a phenomenal idea too, if it's something that you're interested in. I have taught fitness classes for years as a hobby, and it's like training. Learn how to use the weight equipment, and then you'll know how to use it for the rest of your life. Take a basic cooking class, learn how to cook, then you can start experimenting and doing things on your own. Take a class on how to ice skate or ski or swim, and then practice it on your own. There are so many skills that we are used to seeking out teachers or guides or instructors for, and oftentimes I find people discount self-help stuff. And come on, people, that's a worthiness. I mean, my focus is women and worthiness. We are worthy of seeking out someone to help us feel better. Because when we're feeling better, we can help other people. And when we're depleted and emotional and sad, we can't help others.
And when you said, we deserve this. We deserve to take care. It's self-care. And and tapping, I tell people, is like brushing your teeth. It's energy hygiene. So you come to a practitioner the way you would go to the hygienist or the dentist for a periodic cleaning, a really deep cleaning. But hey, you get handed a toothbrush when you leave, and you are expected to keep brushing. So it's the same way with self-help tapping. It's like, do your energy hygiene, because it's called an energy psychology modality, but it comes down to self-care. It's just a really effective way to take care of yourself on an ongoing basis, not just clearing past traumas, but keeping yourself. Look, life is complicated and things are always happening that we have to deal with. It's just so wonderful and helpful to have this tool to help you cope and help you move through things so you don't get things stuck, and to keep yourself in the best mental, emotional, and physical health that you can be.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And now you're, inspiring me to keep myself doing this instead of using it periodically, to use it a little more regularly. And what I wanted to say with that, it is easy. I do it in the car. Sometimes I have done it in the shower. Sometimes as I'm putting on my makeup and doing, my hair and stuff like that, I'll stop and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to give myself a cycle here. And I'll just push myself through a cycle. It's not difficult. It's not time consuming. It's not like I have to change clothes in order to do an EFT cycle. It's easy.
That's exactly right. I love that you do it in the car. I find car tapping to be extremely helpful because I'm 2 hours south of Sydney. Anytime I have to go to Sydney for any reason, I end up tapping in the car. I tap on the side of the steering wheel, with the side of my hand, and I might just tap on one of the points as I go. And it's just something you can do. Finger tapping. So you can tap with the fingers of one hand on the finger points, and you can do that under a table. As we just came through, the holidays, and I had clients that I would say, keep tapping throughout Christmas, and they'd go, yeah, you're right. I have to pull time aside and step aside and do a tapping session with myself. And I said, no, I'm talking about the kind of tapping where, when Uncle Larry is saying, when are you going to get a real job? At the Christmas table, you've got your hands underneath the table, and you're tapping on your fingertip points so that you can just smile and say, there he is with his opinion, and you're not feeling triggered.
Right.
So it's something that we can do in subtle ways. You can also just touch the points and breathe. You can rub them, so you can kind of subtly tap without people knowing you're tapping. So it is something that, look, we already do things like, think about when you're thinking and you tap your chin, or you rub the sides of your eyes when you're stressed, or, and something happens and you're shocked. What do? We clutch our hand to the base of our throats. Well, why wouldn't you take your hand and clutch one of your shoulders? There's a reason. It's because there are these energetic power outlets on your body at your collarbone points. And we instinctively, intuitively know that we self-regulate by doing this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So much of EFT is intuitive. And as people learn more about it, I like that you brought that in, because they will realize, oh, I'm doing this. I've always been a big collarbone rubber. And when I learned EFT, I was like, well, of course, I'm always messing with my collarbone. Of course I'm doing that. Of course that makes sense.
Giving yourself a big pat on the back for being so intuitive about your body. That probably comes from your having been so kind of fitness oriented. You have a good relationship with your body. And so your body has been able to actually say to you, hey, rub the collarbone. That'll give you some relief from this stress you're feeling right now.
That's a really good point. Because yes, I grew up as a dancer, and I was very connected to my body.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely, there are intuitive things that I do that are probably weird, but they're intuitive. And as I've learned more things about them, now I understand exactly what I am doing makes sense.
And it only seems weird because we're not used to it. And as I say in the film Science of Tapping, I want you to imagine that you were the first person that a dentist approached and said, I want to put these wires all over your teeth. Right?
Yes.
Or the first person sitting there and the doctor came towards you with the first pair of eyeglasses. Mm-hmm. Did you want to be the first person to step out of that office wearing eyeglasses out into the world, the first pair of eyeglasses in the world? Nobody wanted to be that person. It looks, how weird do eyeglasses look when you don't take for granted? So I think tapping, it's like we had forgotten about tapping. I think that's all it is, because this is built into how our bodies work, how we self-soothe. This isn't some kind of newfangled made up thing. It's just something I think we forgot about because it's so simple. And
I love how you said forgot about, because my kids are older now, but as babies and preschoolers and toddlers, they would do this handshake thing. And I know it was an energetic thing. It was a way for them to get that energy out. And when they were in preschool, the teachers would sometimes try to correct that. And I actually went in and said, don't. They need to shake. They need to shimmy. A shimmy is a healthy thing. A handshake is healthy. This shaking, shimming is good. Don't you dare stop that.
I love that you did that. And there is a video that I show in one of my workshops that is, and it's a trauma release. It's called tremoring. And in this video, some scientists are tagging a polar bear for research. And so they shoot him with a tranquilizer and dart. And then what they're showing that as the tranq dart wears off, when they've done their tagging and whatever, checked his health, his teeth, whatever, they step aside. And they know that polar bear has come out of it when he tremors, goes into this massive lying there shaking, and then he's fine and can stand up and go. Every animal in the world, every animal, every mammal, it's birds, I think it's even reptiles, every living thing in the world tremors to release trauma and stress, except humans and zoo animals.
Oh,
yeah.
That just broke my heart.
I know. Yeah. So it is part of, and Eckhart Tolle in his book, A New Earth, talks about two geese at a park having a squabble. And then as they separate, they both violently shake their feathers to shake it off. So I love that you went to the teacher and said, please let my kids do this, because they were responding to their body going, shake it out, shake it out. Shake it out's a thing.
It is. Oh, it is. And like I said, I'm a dancer, and I have always been very tuned into the power of the shimmy. When we're stressed out, we shimmy it out, and then woo, you reconnect to your body, and then suddenly it's all fine.
That's fantastic. I love that. Well, tapping can actually help people who have lost their connection to their body, or maybe never have it, have never had it, to actually make that connection, to kind of make friends with. And a friend of mine calls your body your critter. And said,
how cute.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes,
Instead
I love
of thinking of your body as like this sort of big, unwieldy, sort of awkward cousin that you have to take everywhere with you, for those who have that kind of relationship with their body, to suddenly think of, this is my critter. It's a different logic. It's a different just kind of way of being in the world, but make friends with it and take care of it like you would take care of a dog that you love or something like that. And let its wisdom, let it protect you, and let it be your companion. And so this helps to form that bond. It's like, you take your dog for a walk and play with your dog to form a bond with your dog. You can use tapping as a way to form a bond with your body.
That's beautiful, because we all have these bodies while we're here on earth, and we all have these emotions. And I love that we have tools now to connect the two, to help process. Because again, what is life? It's meant to be fun. Yes, we have trauma. Move through it. That was so beautifully stated the way you said that. Move through it. Don't hang on to it and let it beat you up.
That's right. You get to keep the wisdom. You get to keep all the depth, all the experience, all the learning. You don't lose that when you lose the emotional intensity. When you finish processing something, it's like you've got the peanut and you've thrown away the shell. You've got the banana and you've thrown away the peel, instead of throwing it in the backseat of your car where they pile up.
Absolutely. Now, how can listeners learn more about you or EFT or your app or your upcoming movie? Because I'm sure listeners are like, she's so cool. I need to find out more about her.
I've got a website, naomijanzen.net, which kind of has links to all of the different places. And then my tapping website is, like I said before, is www.ozfreedomtechniques.com. So it's OZ, that's how we say it in Australia and Canada, or in America, OZ, Freedom Techniques, plural.com. And on my website are links to everything where you can get the free manual and get on my mailing list. And every now and then, I don't do a lot of newsletters, but every now and then I'll send one out with goodies about training, but you can find training links on there as well. And links to my app, which I have an update coming out soon. And the Science of Tapping, I'll also be doing some promoting, but you can go to a website now called www.thescienceoftapping.com. And we've just finished the film. It's in the process of being released, and people will be able to access it there.
Oh, that is so exciting. I look forward to visiting your website myself, downloading that manual, and getting myself back on board with some regular tapping, because, hey, I like house cleaning, so I should like body cleaning in the same way.
I love that.
Thank you for sharing your bright light, your love, your information, and your energy today on my show. I will put all of that information on my homepage as well. And listeners, reach out to me if you have any questions, if you've not had the opportunity to write down her information, and I will connect you. Have a glorious week, and as usual, don't forget to flaunt.
Tune in next time to Flaunt. Build your dreams, live your sparkle with radio host Laura Cheadle every Wednesday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Dream Vision 7 radio network. Come release outdated labels, roles, and scripts. Reveal the calling of your soul and re-choreograph your own life, even when you're unsure of what you want. In 5 bold and glittering strokes, you too can build your dreams and live your sparkle. Find out more about Laura at pyramidfusion.com.